part 4 of completing the duct design calculation. In part 3 we talked about the location of the cold air returns. In this part we'll have a look at the suggested location for supply air outlets. And just like we did with the return air, we started on the second floor for the return airs. I recommend that you start on the second floor for the supply airs as well. Now, we looked at, when we looked at our suggested number of supply runs for the master bedroom, we see that we've got one. The one is being suggested. However, we are at that maximum value of 80 CFM, and so in looking at the master bedroom, we can see that there's a fair amount of glass. And so, although our calculation may support the installation of one run, I suggest that you install 2 outlets in this room, mainly due to the amount of glass, and we want to kind of spread out the air being supplied into this room. The next room is the ensuite. Now in this particular case we can see that the toilet's in front of the window. Typically you want to place your heating outlets under the windows, but rooms such as bathrooms and kitchens, that can be difficult. So you try to locate a supply outlet in as close a location to the window as possible. Bedroom 4 requires only one outlet, so we've centrally located that under the main window. Here's the main bath. We've got nothing blocking the window, so our supply air can go under the window there. And we've simply installed supply airs as well. So we're hoping that we can get the ductwork to these locations. So now what you have to do is transfer these supply outlet locations onto your first floor plan. Now, the symbol for representing a second floor supply outlet when you are on the first floor plan is a rectangle with a double diagonal line through it. So you can see we've got our the one master bedroom run here is shown there. This outlet is shown there. Our bathroom outlet shown here. Our bedroom 4 is shown there. The main bath comes up right here. Bedroom 3 comes up right here. And bedroom 2 is located there. So now we have to have a look at, again, at the joist direction to see if this complements how we can get our branch ducts over to the outlets. In the case of the master bedroom, particularly this supply run here, we can see that although the floor joists are running back to front, front to back, there is no wall here. So if we look at the second master bedroom run, we can see that the outlet's located here. The floor joists are running front to back, which means we can come up in this wall with a round duct and then run through the ceiling joists and connect to our boot, which is going to be the outlet in that room. In the case of this heating outlet, since we've got no walls that we can come up in and run straight over, we need to come up in this wall, run through the joist space. But in this location we need to now angle down and come out of the joist space and run under the joist following the exterior of the wall till we can finally connect up with our outlet. Unfortunately, this means that our duct running through here is below the floor joist, and the builder will need to build what we call a box or bulkhead, a wooden framing around this duct, so that ultimately when the house is finished, you won't actually see the pipe. If we have a look at the ensuite, we see that we can come up in this wall. Because the joists are running side to side, we can simply come up in this wall and run straight through the joists over to our boot. Now, bedroom 4, because the wall has this angled out window and the floor joists are running side to side, once again we can't come up in the corner here and just jog over. So we need to come up in the wall, which means now we're going to come out of the wall, under the floor joists, and make our way again around, and then make our way to the boot. And once again, this means that this duct here will be below the ceiling joist, and so the builder will have to box that in. But there will be a number of elbows created in here, and so we will have to include those in our duct design calculation. The main bath comes up almost right on top of this wall, and so that it would be a very straightforward installation for the bathroom outlet. For run number 3, we can see that the outlet is located in approximately this location. Since our floor joists are running side to side, we can come up in this partition and run a short piece of pipe over to connect to this boot. For bedroom number 2, we can see that the outlet's in this location. It would be nice if we could come up in this small partition, but chances are that this small partition would be basically filled full of wood, and there would physically be not enough room to install the actual round duct. And so quite often we will come up in the corner of a room and then run the pipe through the joists over to the outlet. And in this scenario, the builder would have to build a box around the heat run in the corner. But these scenarios of bulkheads and boxes are very common and not unusual in particularly production housing, but in basically every house that's being built. If we move to the first floor, you can see that our kitchen requires 2 runs, so we've split it out between all of the glass there. All of our other rooms require 1 run, and so we've installed these runs, if we can, under the windows, near the door. In the case of the powder room where there is no window, try to locate it in the most convenient location. Once you've established where your stack ducts are going to be, all of these round circles with the cross in them, they represent a round duct running vertically from the basement up to the ceiling of the first floor. You want to transfer all of your first floor supplies and all of the second floor supplies. You want to transfer them down to the basement. Once you have located all those runs, you'll notice that the first floor duct is now, or the outlet is now, a rectangle with a single diagonal line through it. This tells you that when you're standing in the basement and you look up at the basement ceiling, you should see a boot roughly in this location. You'll also notice that all of the circular ducts have been transferred down to the basement to see where they come out. And so that way we can determine whether or not the location that we selected for our stack ducts actually will work. And fortunately, all of our stack ducts work out to be in good location. So then the next thing is to simply lay out some locations for our basement runs. Our calculations suggest 3 runs, so we've decided to put a run here, a run over here, and a run here. Once all of these runs are in place, then we can sketch a rough single line representing our trunks, and then individual lines which then hook up to our individual outlets.